And how are we doing tonight? How's it going, Alan?
Doing wonderful. Thank you for asking. Really appreciate that. How you doing so far tonight?
Doing good. Getting the dust shaken off a little bit. Jumping on the live, seeing how we're doing. It's a good night in the UFL for sure. Good day, no doubt.
Oh yes, yes, indeed. It's a fantastic day for the UFL, and man, it just seemed like when you thought you seen it all, I have to give them credit. They come out with something new, and that came out of left field, but it's always exciting.
For sure, for sure. And even like this morning when I woke up, I did not expect the OKC expansion news. For no doubt, when I saw that, I was like, "This has got to be a joke." No, it's real, very real.
Yeah, and that's outstanding. And it said 2028, which means that the UFL is the train is going to keep on moving. You know, before I comment on the OKC thing, you got to remember it was, as your hat says, the XFL, and the reiteration two or three times failed. It didn't make it to year three. Now we're, if 2028, if that's going on what, 7 8 years. So you know what, that is right there a positive thing. They're thinking down the road, and I've been to OKC. It's a beautiful place, Oklahoma City, for those you're not sure. I think that's a great location. I really do. I didn't think about it like every day, but think about all the people who in the NFL love Oklahoma. You know, Baker Mayfield. You even had have his son too. You have Bob son. So there you go. I mean, it's just a great place that loves football, and not only that, I could see them supporting the UFL. That's the key right there. Is that they need to go to places where they're going to be wanted, and I definitely do think OKC is a place where they're going to be wanted.
100% agree with you. And let's delve into that a little bit before we wrap up. We'll see how long we're on. The few people that are watching, appreciate you joining. Feel free to comment in. I see we got a comment from it's Kurt. What's up, Kurt? How's it going? Yeah, it's very refreshing to see some good news, and especially
Yes.
like where they're heading, what they're doing. I'm looking forward to it, and it's good for the future for the league. But let's talk about right now. So before we get started, guys, this is a new show we're gonna do, UFL After Dark. We'll shoot for Thursdays right now, see how it goes. If not, we'll definitely let everyone know what's going on. But we will be doing this show weekly to help the UFL. You know me from the UFL Insiders previously. I mean, I fell off, had some health issues, but I'm back, and we're back in action, and we're ready to rock it. As far as it sits right now, the UFL Insiders is dead. I have let it die. It is gone, and we're moving on to greener pastures. But regardless, it's good to be with everyone and talk about some football. So, Alan, I've known you for quite a while, man. And if there's one person I want co-hosting with me, it's definitely you.
Appreciate that. Same here. Likewise, it's always a pleasure to be on your show, and it's a pleasure now to be doing the show with you. That's fantastic.
Yes, sir. Let's do the thing. All right, so let's talk about week 2 in the UFL. It was a long week. We had the Tuesday game, and it took a while to get to Tuesday, in my opinion. Tell me, what did you think about week 2 of the UFL as a whole?
I thought it was very good. I would say everything I saw was very positive. The only thing that I saw that was concerning to me, which was really week one, and I didn't really notice it till kind of like week two, was the fact that when Ludacris came to the Gamblers game, and that attendance was what it was, it didn't look I nowhere near what I thought it might have been. That was the only thing that was concerning to me. But I thought the play was great. I thought everything else was wonderful.
Yeah, I agree with you. The only disheartening part was the attendance in a couple places, but for the
Yeah.
most part, we had some decent football. Some teams fell short, but as you know, with the spring football game, a lot of teams don't really catch their stride until weeks 5, weeks 4, something like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I know I could definitely feel the Louisville Kings, which we're going to talk a little bit more about in the future in a little bit. But I just felt like also the Columbus, if you're an 0-2, I know it feels bad, but you're not out of this. Look, all you got to do is go to the XFL and look what the Renegades did. They won the championship and they were what, 0-4? Started off like horrible
Yep.
and came back and won. It's not really how you start this league, it's how you really kind of do games 4, 3, 4, and beyond are very important. But being 0-2, you're not out of it. I know it kind of sucks. You're 0-2. You haven't got the win yet. But I felt like some teams were already in panic mode, and you don't need to be in panic mode just yet.
Yep. Agreed. And the familiar coaches, they know this. The guys that have been doing this. It's a weird season with the UFL, and with the scheduling and whatnot, you have to play it different than a typical NFL season or a college season, whatever you want to compare it to. Let's jump right in. Let's jump right into it. Let's talk about the game. April 3rd, the DC Defenders took on Columbus Aviators. This game was at Columbus, 44-26. Kind of rough for Columbus, in my opinion. It looked like a pretty good game jumping out, and then it quickly dissipated. At halftime, there was a 10-point lead from DC. DC was up 24-14. It just wasn't a lot going on either side of the ball, really. DC had an awesome run game. Now, don't let me get anything from that, but the fact that, like, passing-wise, they didn't do much. Jordan Teamu, he was 8 for 11 for 99 yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, I know he just did what he was supposed to do, but that's a rough number. Deion Jackson, that's the running back for DC. He went 11 carries for 97 yards and 3 touchdowns, and so he's rolling. Right now, he's number one in the league rushing. He's third scoring behind Reed and Vaughns, of course, in Arlington or Dallas. Sorry, I keep doing the Arlington thing.
Yeah, no, it takes a little bit to get used to it. But yeah, the DC Defenders, they are the defending champs. And this is where I think it's a bit tough when you're maybe your first year as a coach, and then you have to go against somebody who has had postseason experience and has won the championship. It's a little tough on you because you're trying to fix holes, and I think some of those things you kind of learn as experience goes on, not to panic, not to worry, kind of have that calmness. And these are some of the growing pains I think you feel when you are unfortunately a first-time head coach and you're kind of going through these things. It's unfortunate, you want to get experience on day one, but sometimes it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, and it takes time, especially being a new coach.
Yeah.
In terms of play, how do you feel about the Aviators? I mean, do you feel like they have a chance of getting back and getting some wins under their belt?
I do. I definitely do think the Aviators had a chance of getting back, getting some wins underneath their belt. They did get 26 points. I know they didn't win the game, but there's some positives. It's definitely, I feel like, for any team in the UFL, even if you have no wins, there is no panic button just yet. I've been there before where teams, I've covered a team, the Guardians, where we lost quite a few games in a row. And I felt like around the second or third game, around this time, panic starts to seep in. And I think it's premature a little bit. You just got to dial it in. Just don't try to win 3 or 4 weeks in one game. Win the game that you're in. Be where your feet's at. And I think if you win one game at a time, think of it just one game. Let's win one. And you go from there. That simple steps, that helps a lot. Agreed.
And there's a lot of pressure there in Columbus. He's a newer coach. He's getting his feet off the ground as well. But I know, listening to him after his press conferences, I mean, he believes in his team and he's not giving up. So I respect that as a coach.
Oh, yes, definitely. I respect that tremendously. And I think Ted Ginn Jr. is going to do fantastic in this league. I think all the coaches are going to do fantastic. They have what it takes. It's just, it's not the panic time. You did face the DC Defenders. It's hard for you to beat, even if you did have some experience, to beat the DC Defenders. They're a team that does well under pressure. they know too from losing the championship game that they really was favored to win against the at that time Harleton Renegades. I think that experience taught them you can't take any team for granted. You have to go out there and play the best ball.
For sure. Agree with that. Well, next week they take on Dallas, so that's going to be a rough one for them to jump back from.
It is. I mean, and I have to say, this is the first time I've ever been in this situation. You know, God is amazing. I'm actually covering the two teams that are 2-0. That is the Dallas Renegades and the Orlando Storm, which is I've never been in that situation ever. So both my teams are covered 2-0.
You're gonna be a busy man this season. It sounds like
I've
busy.
busy, and you know I know there are a couple of posts that I'm behind in posting up. I haven't forgotten you. I will post them up. It's just I don't want to overburden my audience too much, so I try to give them not too much at a time.
I get it.
You know,
100% makes sense. I get it. It's too much content's a bad thing. You definitely got to space it out, man.
Yeah.
All right,
learned that the hard way. So let's get into some of these comments.
Yeah, let's roll into it. Let's talk from Kurt right here.
On the there was a question
getting crazy.
The rematch Orlando versus Kings.
Which one are you on?
One? Yeah, the Orlando versus Kings. You know what? I think that's going to be a test for the Orlando Storm. I know they just won, but the game was a slow game for both sides as far as getting their offense going. Both defenses were very good. I know Coach Beck, he said at the beginning of the season he wants to win every game. But I think this is a real test early in the season to see if you can win. Because another thing is this. You know how hard it is to win against a team a second time in the season. You face them next week or you face them 2 weeks or 6 weeks. It's just harder to beat a team you've already faced. Reason being because they've seen film on you. They know how you are on the field, speed, everything. But I do think I just feel like at the end of the day, I just think that Orlando is going to they have just a little too many playmakers. But Orlando cannot let their foot off the gas. As long as they do that, I think they'll take care of business and win a close game against the Kings.
Yeah, let's talk about their game last week. Now, I know you guys at home, if you're not familiar, which most of you are, they play each other back-to-back this week. Louisville and then Orlando. So it was at Orlando last week. This week, we're heading to Louisville for the matchup. And it should be a good one. Last Saturday, Louisville went down to Orlando 9-19. We kind of watched that game. I know I did, and it wasn't my favorite of the week. It was slow, but there were some flashes of offense and defense in there. The things that really stand out in my mind from this game is why was Jason Bean taken out? And if he is taken out, are we sure running a QB committee here in Louisville is going to be successful? From my perspective, unless you got a team that has two different skill sets within those QBs, no. If they're similar, it's not going to work out well. So, I mean, what do you think about it, Alan? How do you think the game went?
I agree with you. I thought it was pretty slow at the beginning. Both teams were struggling to move the ball. I know the defenses were doing great. It was really the first half, not really that much of an entertaining game to watch. It just one of those games where nobody was really doing much. But then as the game went on, you see where the difference lies. Where the difference lies with Orlando is they have some playmakers back there, wide receiver.
Yep.
Badger, KC. I mean, they have guys that if you don't tackle them as soon as they get the ball, they could take it to the house. Hamler. I mean, they're just crisp. They're just explosive. And I think that made the difference in the game where a tough pass, he throws it. Jack Plummer, he catches it, takes it to the house. something. You know what I mean? I think that's the biggest thing. They have guys that can just turn it upfield and change the game.
Oh
That's the
yeah.
biggest thing.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, Jay Sean, like they said, Jay Sean, you know, they have guys that are explosive. And that to me kind of reminds me of like the Detroit Lions, where if you let them get some space, it's game over. They're
Oh
taking
yeah.
it to the house. And that's what happened in this game. It was tight. He took it to the house, and then they did it again. And that was pretty much the game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. I mean, it was very quick flashes of like, oh man, that was crazy. That was
Yeah.
awesome. Elijah Badger went 2 for 3 for 59 yards and 1 touchdown. But I know the 1 touchdown, that's the one he broke, what, 40 yards for or something?
Yeah.
It was a good play.
Yeah. And that's where they're explosive, and they have a great running back. And you know, Jack is making some great plays. He throw for 77% completion percentage for 2 games in a row. So, I definitely, those things are something that James Larson called him after game 1. He called him a game manager to the coach. He's like, game manager? He threw over 77%. It's like,
It looks that way on TV for sure.
that's like,
You check out the stats and it definitely it looks different than what you're watching.
yeah. And he's making plays, and that's the thing. You definitely, your goal is to, and not everybody, plus you got good defense too. It's not like you have a free for all, just throw it to anybody. No, it's good defense. And that's why I think this game is a test. If Orlando can get past the Kings in back-to-back games and win and bring it to 3-0, I think they're feeling really good about themselves, because it's hard to beat a team 2 times, especially back-to-back weeks like this.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And we saw how Louisville was. They're gonna have some fans there rocking. There's
Oh
gonna be
yeah.
some energy, man. It was reported there were 8,585 tickets sold for this game in Orlando. You were there in person, correct?
I was there in person. It was a fantastic game. I thought I enjoyed, things ran a lot smoother, I would say, in game 2 than they did in game 1. It's game 1, people trying to feel themselves out, trying to get things perfect. I think game 2 ran smoothly. I was there, and I was blessed to do a bunch of interviews, all fantastic. Shout out to Road to Halftime. I was able to interview all the performers, which I thought it was just one. And it's albeit they give them just like a minute and a half per performer. I got all but the violinist, and that was fantastic. Danny and Russ Brandon. And the fact that I got there early, the first game I was a little late, and I apologize for that. But the second game, I had everything kind of mapped out, because Interco Stadium is a new stadium for me, as well as covering. I've been there a couple times, but I never covered in a venue there. So I had to kind of learn the ins and out. And now that I got that thing much better, week 2 was awesome. I thought the crowd energy was really, really great. Much different than the way it was when it was the Orlando Guardians in Camping World Stadium.
Yeah, the Camping World, at least on TV, it looked kind of depressing. Not because
Oh
of
yeah.
the event, just because it looked very empty. It was the same feels I got going to Memphis, to the stadium there. It was very empty. I mean, besides the few fans that I heard, you heard a lot of echoes. So it's good
Yeah.
that things have changed up a little bit in Orlando.
Oh,
Now,
that's a night and day difference. And you're right. It's just, I mean, Camping World Stadium can seat 65,000 plus. It's just a huge stadium, and to have the venue at Interco Stadium is much better, much closer, much more private. You could hear and feel the fans. It's a lot more electric, and that stadium is just so nice. That is a really nice, beautiful, well done Interco Stadium.
yeah,
Grass is great. Everything.
agreed. I'm liking the feels of it. I'm having to pick where I want to go to a game this year, and I'm debating on Orlando up around May. We'll see
Yeah.
what happens. Now let's open we had a couple comments. Let's roll
Yeah,
over
sure.
here. Let's see what's going on. So Maverick says, I think Jason Bean suffered a bit of a hit that may sideline him, probably let him heal into the next game. I thought the same thing as well until I started researching it. And he played 2 drives to start the game, and then they took him out. And then coming halftime, he came back, and it was the same thing. He played 2 drives. He didn't play the full 2 drives, I don't believe, but then they took him out. So, I mean, who knows there? Because I was really trying to figure out if he was hurt or not. Lucky Jackson is a good receiver, but they're definitely going to need more people to step up if they want to be successful there in Louisville.
Oh yes, you definitely, you're right, and it's a team game, and you need everybody on the same page. And I definitely don't think it's panic time for any team, though, even if you haven't gotten a win yet.
Agreed. Yeah, no panic time until, like I said, week 5, week 6.
Yeah,
You're still slacking. If you're only putting on 50 yards up on the ground week 5 or 6, something's wrong.
yeah, exactly.
Let's roll on to the next game. And this is my favorite game of the week. All right. The Birmingham Stallions visited the Houston Gamblers. The Stallions went down 20-22 and a game-winning field goal at the end. This was the biggest upset and the best game in terms of action, back to back. I'd say that finish, man, was spectacular. We got multiple things going on, but the big story at the end of the day is the Houston Gamblers stepped up and won a game. That's
Yeah,
what really got me. Both teams were kind of messy in the first half. There wasn't much going. Actually, the first points that came on the board was like a field goal close to halftime, and then someone else scored, and it looked like a game then. Third quarter, also pretty lame, not too much going, but man, it was an action-packed fourth quarter until the very end. Nolan Henderson, he had to step up, and he did. I thought the Gamblers' offense was pretty productive, especially looking from the past at them, and even week 1. So I enjoyed it. They outrushed and outpassed the Stallions. They outpassed them 225-233, and they outrushed them 62 yards to 174 yards. So that's what won on the game.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's comes down to crunch time. It's exciting. I think those type of games are exciting for the fans. Speaking of that, if you're in the Houston area, you guys need to come out and support because look, this is why I feel like if a team, I would say, give a team a year or 2 max. If you're not going to have pretty good attendance, I think you may have to consider moving on, because I don't think this league is at the position where they can just keep funneling money for something that's just not going to work.
Agreed.
You had Ludacris in the house. I honestly thought guys are going to show up. You missed not only Ludacris, you missed a great game.
Hey, and I enjoyed the Ludacris. I thought he did a heck of a job, man.
Yeah.
Especially I'm not trying to talk crap about any of the other performers, but he was authentic, and I enjoyed it. There wasn't much background tracks going. It was just him doing his thing. Reminds me of me being like 12,
Shout out to DJ Khaled. That was one thing people were kind of harping on, the fact that he performed for 5 minutes, and I have it on my counter on my phone on my DJI, and I was 5 minutes and 24 seconds to be exact, and then the rest was on the DJ.
I didn't think it was a bad one there in Orlando. It was just kind of funny because there wasn't a lot of energy for his performance. It wasn't but I thought it was good. I mean, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I don't even want to get on my worst one, but I'll tell you, like, here's the thing: if you're performing and you're old, and that's fine, but like, don't try to back it up with something that doesn't sound like you, because that ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. We know. But yeah, man, this game, it kind of, the Stallions went down. They kind of went down.
Yeah.
We'll see how they come back. AJ McCarron was talking about next week's a new week for them, so I hope they do come back and try to live up to their potential. I mean, this is one of my favorite teams now, and I was disappointed that they did lose, but I was happy to see a underdog win a game. Matt Corral, he went 21 for 27, 226 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. He's actually second in the league in passing yards right now. So I mean, he's not doing bad, but you know, we got a long season ahead of us, and those 2 interceptions really cost them something during that game, no doubt.
Yeah, you can't turn the ball over. That's key. You know, as you've seen there, it can go down to a kick. I was glad that the Houston Gamblers did win a game because you kind of don't want some of the, I would say, quote, quote, underdogs, or, you know, you want them to kind of still be in this race. You
Yeah.
know, they don't lose every game, and you want them to be in the hunt. And to beat the Stallions, that's saying a lot. That's a powerhouse, a juggernaut of a team. So shout out to Houston Gamblers. You guys just need to go out and support, because I'm telling you, if you don't come out and support, they'll say, oh, we got too many teams in Texas. You know?
Yeah. I mean, it was reported 7,744 tickets were sold. We know they say attendance. We know there wasn't 7,000 people there. I mean,
Yeah,
it's an obvious thing. This isn't a bashing. This is just a looking at what we have.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, I get what the numbers say, but visually you can look at a crowd and kind of tell what it is. I mean, I have a little clicker here. I'm not bringing it to the game, but I can kind of tell visually what's going on.
You're like an old coach over there, man, isn't that thing?
You know, I'm always tempted to say they said, you know, this not just this season, but they said this quite a few seasons ago. They have 10,000 people. I'm like, okay, you count each person 3 or 4 times. So you're like, okay, don't let me bring my little clicker and just just put in my, you know why I got that clicker is because people started cheating when it comes to golf. You know, like cheating strokes.
That's
So
how
said,
we kept up with baseball pitches back when I was a coach. So I understand. Yeah, hey, look, Rick, he talked about, let's go to this comment from Rick. And guys, I'm trying to get used to this new comment system. This is way different than what I left with, I'll tell you.
Hi, everyone. God bless you. God bless you, too.
So, Rick 8-Bit, and the NFL Gamblers don't win that game. The challenge on 4th down was huge. Yeah, that was a crazy situation, and I'm not even going to try to explain that ending of the game because I will mess the wording of that all up. But I do have a tweet from someone who made a video, and I thought it was a very good informal video. So let's check it out, and it'll kind of explain the end of this game. I think he dubbed it the first first UFL LOL moment of the week. This is from Lane PFN on X. So yeah, let me share this, and we will go from there. All right, can we see me?
Yes.
All right, so let's check this out. Hopefully we can hear it well as well.
For our first ever UFLOL moment of the week, we have an excellent moment during the Stallions versus Gamblers Week 2 matchup. A Kevin Sumlin
we're not playing, are we?
As he would ultimately come out with the win.
No.
But let's break down this red zone possession first. We see the down and distance, 1st and 10, as I pointed to. However, the broadcast actually calls this a first down, as you can see. Cam Sutton never made the line to gain, so it is actually a 2nd and goal. As you see on the field, they have it marked 2nd down, while on the broadcast it is marked 1st and goal. Henderson gets out of the pocket and gets rid of the ball, making it 3rd down, but 2nd down on the broadcast. Henderson hands the ball off to Jalen White for no gain, and you can hear Gamblers' coaching staff calling for a field goal immediately after, making the decision seem like a head-scratcher, as on the broadcast it still only says 3rd down. However, the craziness is just beginning. As John Hoyland comes out to kick the field goal, the Stallions specialist unit makes a critical mistake, shifting 7 defenders on the right side of the ball, in turn giving the Gamblers another shot at the touchdown. And of course, they cash in. This is your UFLOL moment of the week, and I'm sure there will be many, many more to come.
So yeah, we don't go into the challenge, but the challenge, it wasn't a challenge. It was reviewed. It was a score that was reviewed by the booth is what Rick Abit was talking about. What Lane was discussing was the confusion at the end of the game. Like I was watching with my girlfriend and I'll keep my computer pulled up and I'm looking at things as the game goes. And she's like, why are they kicking that right on the third? What are they doing? And I'm like, I don't know. So I get on there and I'm looking at the stats through the media portal and I'm like, oh, okay, it's wrong. But anyway, I just had to play that for everyone at home if you were confused about some of that play from that game.
It's one of those things that unfortunately happen. It happens in football. You do a lot of downs. These things unfortunately happen. Some in baseball, sometimes people forget to count. You think it's 3-1, but it's 2-1. And we've seen guys who walked into first base is only 3 balls. Guys catch the balls 2 outs. They try to go to the dugout thinking it's 3 outs. It's one of those things that unfortunately happen. Hopefully they learn from this and don't make the mistake again, at least not for this season. Because he was saying, I'm sure there's many more to come. But yeah, it's one of those things that maybe you might want to have somebody maybe double checking it, and that's what happened. Because you're right. Why would you be kicking on 3rd down when you have time? But they were thinking it was 4th down. So the right team won the game, which was the Gamblers. At the end of the day, they pulled it out, not taking anything away from the Gamblers. They won the game. Hopefully this kind of propels people to come out and visit more frequently to the game, because don't be complaining if they pack up and leave shop because you didn't show up. Don't complain. Go out there and support. Because yes, they are expanding, but if you want the team to stay in your city and your state, you have to come out to the games.
Yep.
And I did want to mention it real quick before I forget. Props to Mike Rapoli for owning it, saying that our website, as far as merchandise, is crap. Because I actually knew that because a couple people reached out to me because they wanted to buy merchandise. Brahma Babe, shout out to her. She wanted to buy some merch. And I looked at the website. She said there's nothing really there. I looked at it and she was right. There really wasn't much there. And Mike Rapoli admitted it. So next season, he said he's going to do a lot better. So, it's a work in progress. It's good that they are working these things out.
Agreed. And the fact that he's interacting and wanting some feedback is awesome. It shows there's not this huge separation between ownership and real folks down here watching.
No, exactly. That's always good. It's not, and I don't want fans thinking that everything you suggest he's going to change, but at least they're hearing what you're saying. If you throw out 6-7 suggestions, maybe they accept 2 or 3 of them. You never know, but at least they're hearing your suggestions and your feedback. That's always a good thing. And they're trying to figure this out just like you guys are trying to figure it out too. But I definitely, today's news about them opening up, expanding in OKC was like, wow, in 2028, which is fantastic.
Agreed. And guys, I'm playing with a new feature here. It's a poll. Feel free to join in and vote if you want. Just asking, what do you think? Do you think the UFL will successfully expand in 2028? So let us know what you think. I'll leave that up for a little bit and I'll take it down.
Nice.
Yeah, all these new features with StreamYard, man. I guess they got to do something since they're charging you all this money every month.
Yeah, and shout out to StreamYard. StreamYard, to me, I've tried a lot of the other streaming services. I feel, in my own opinion, humble opinion, that StreamYard is top notch and the best out of all of them.
It's definitely good.
But to your point, if StreamYard is listening, I think they need to work on the pricing a little bit. It's getting a little bit out of hand. I do agree that they are intuitive. They're always adding features. But it's like every time they add a feature, that's another $5, $10, another $10, another 10,
Rick 8-Bit said he's talking about New Orleans. I'm going with NO. Only since in 2 years down the road, let's see what he's talking about. Sorry, guys. Trying to get back in the comments as well.
I'm going with no. Only since.
So you mean no, not New Orleans. Got you. So he means no. He's talking about
since only 2 years. Yeah.
So they're talking about the play dialogue, and then they're discussing which, I guess, who does who worse. What was it? The ESPN broadcast was kind of rough to watch.
Oh, really? Okay. Tell me about that, because I didn't get a chance to hear the whole broadcast in the press box. What are your thoughts?
I believe it's the ESPN guys that are listening. It is what I'm talking about, correct? I believe it's ESPN, but it's like they're just chasing them guys for the interviews, man. Them guys are focused in, and hey, what's going on? Tell me this. What's going on here? What are you gonna do here? What play is this? And don't get me wrong, some of that is awesome, and then others is,
yeah. Those in-game interviews is 6 of one, half a dozen of another. I could see where somebody would be like, we don't need them. I kind of get that, but I also get the point of you want to hear what the guy's thinking right then and there. I don't think if you're expecting some groundbreaking information, no, you're probably not going to get that. But if you just look at it for what it is, and that's the thing. This league, they're trying to promote the guys playing there. It should.
Oh, we lose you, Alan. Let's see what happens with him.
Information, because they're still competing.
There we go. I got disconnected for a minute.
Okay,
you good?
Yes.
Okay, cool. It popped me out and you froze on me. All right, let's move on to our last game, which was the Tuesday night game. The Battlehawks took on the Renegades in Frisco, Texas.
Yep.
They went down 31-15. This game, we saw a lot, and by a lot, I mean we saw a lot from Dallas.
Yeah.
Austin Reeves is on a roll, man. Yeah, I'm UFL MVP, no doubt, as of right now.
Yeah, he's on fire, man. And I had asked him that question, how do you stay locked in? Because he set the record in the first game. I mean, the first game that he started, check that out. He breaks a UFL record for the most passing yards in a single game. And I loved his answer. He goes, I've seen guys who get excited after 1 week and they have 7, 8 poor weeks in a row. So he's seen what can happen if you get too giddy. I love the fact that he's happy about it, but he's not overly excited about it because he's staying grounded and continues to strive forward. And it showed in game 2, that pass that he made. And I even talked about that in the press conference, the call to make that long bomb at that time and to make the bomb, and it worked, was genius. Awesome pass, awesome catch, awesome call. And you got to give kudos to all three of them.
Yeah, I agree with you. They opened up slow, they opened up fast. Sorry, the Renegades opened up with like a 6-play drive score, and then things kind of slowed down, And then we got a few just really big, great plays. The Battlehawks, man, it seemed like they were having so much difficulty moving the ball, whether it be drop passes, but balls not thrown correctly, interceptions. I mean, there was a lot of stuff going on that was costing them direly on offense.
Oh, yeah. And the thing is that Renegades, that's one of their strong points, is their defense.
No doubt. Their
defensive backs, if you throw the ball a little bit off, it's either going to get pass broken up if you're lucky, because most of the time they're gonna take it to the house. Those guys are fantastic back there. I even asked Coach about that. Coach Neuheisel, like, it seemed like in game 1, the guys were right on every pass. And, he said that, he's got to give, the defensive backs coach a lot of credit. And also he said that the guys are really engaged in their on their assignments. And when you are making sure that you're on your assignments, you can kind of risk it a little bit more because you have help back there. So outstanding job, outstanding win for the Renegades. Like you said, Austin Reed is playing lights out. And I will have to say that it was cool to see Austin Reed do his thing. I kind of felt a little bad because Luis Perez didn't get the nod. And I think now it's going to be, unless it's a blowout or something, it's going to be tough for him to get some playing time.
Yeah. They're not going to take that momentum away unless an injury or something happens.
Right.
What did we see? What was it, 2023 XFL? Is that where he was traded? And that's what sparked the Renegades to go on and win that championship, correct?
Yeah, that's right. And when it was the Arlington Renegades, this was my point, that you cannot give up even if your team is 0-2, 0-3, or 0-4. If you get to 0-4, though, you pretty much, that's it. But I mean, if you go to 0-5, I should say. But they were 0-4, they flipped a switch and they won the whole thing. And I was kind of hoping the Guardians that we were covering would have done the exact same thing, but they did not. And the Arlington Renegades did what I hoped the Orlando Guardians could have done, and they didn't. And that's why the Arlington Renegades are champions. Now they're the Dallas Renegades, by the way.
Yeah, it's the Dallas Renegades that play in Frisco, Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Silvers went 22 for 39 with 186 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
It wasn't too good of a game his way. I know there's a lot of chatter going on from Battlehawk fans about whether he's the guy in St. Louis, but right now, I mean, they're rolling with him, so I don't think you really have much of a choice.
Yeah, it's hard to make QB changes, I think. I know that you start one guy, you put the other guy in, but I do believe you have to give somebody the reins and let them play and kind of choose your guy, and then maybe you could do an option play or something, but you have to keep the quarterback, I believe.
Yeah, I agree with you. Give them a chance. If something happens and they're abysmal, then you bench them. But if they're playing a decent game, especially if they've won you a game, it's a different conversation for sure. Austin Reed, 22 for 36, 240 yards and 4 touchdowns, leading the league in passing yards and passing touchdowns. And of course, we could have not guessed anyone else. Wide receiver Tyler Vaughn's caught 11 receptions for 146 yards and 3 touchdowns. As you guessed it, he's first in the league in receiving. So, I mean, this team is going to be rolling. And what we thought, at least watching from week 1, at least myself, I thought the Battlehawks defense was one of the best in the league. But, I mean, they held up pretty good against them. I mean, going into the fourth, it was only an 11-point game. Like, they were only down by 11 points going into the fourth quarter. So it wasn't that bad until the fourth quarter hit. But, I mean, we saw the results. This Renegades team is looking good.
Yeah, and to the Battlehawks' credit, I didn't think this game was over until they had that big bomb play. Once that big bomb play happened, they scored that touchdown, the game's a wrap. It's over now.
Yep.
But prior to that, I still didn't think the game was over. I really didn't. I felt as if the Battlehawks were in there. You know how it is. A fumble, somebody gets an interception. It wasn't over, in my opinion. When they threw that big bomb and got a touchdown, it was a wrap at that point for me.
Yeah, for no doubt. I mean, even like going into the fourth quarter, St. Louis had a chance to redeem themselves. It just seems like they could not move the ball, or if they did, something stupid would happen. It wouldn't be one individual. It'd be something different each time. So I really hope they can get something going just for their own sake. I know these fans over there are eating, or they're just wanting this so bad. They only had 47 yards on the ground, St. Louis did. So, I mean.
Your thoughts on the no punt rule until 50?
Let's go to it. Let's roll to
what
it.
Do you think? What do you think of that?
I like it. I think it's different. I enjoy the difference. I think it makes coaches have to think about things completely different in this game. And we haven't really seen too many games where it's impacted things, just a couple. But you can tell that it's definitely another thought in coaches' minds.
I think it's another thought, and and the coach and I think that's a great thing that it makes you think more strategy. I love the 50 the punt rule. The only rule which I said I wasn't thrilled about, just me personally, was the 1 foot in rule. I just, the reason why I say that is because I want to keep it professional and I want my guys to be ready if and when the NFL calls. There's no question. You understand? If you're used to getting 1 foot in, they can always say, well, we don't know if you get both feet in. Well, if you're always getting both feet in, there's no question there. So that's my own personal thing. I understand with the offense, but I think they're not going to have any problem with offense this season at all.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And I think, I mean, with the rule changes for the most part are good. I don't really like the 1 point kick rule, I'll say, but most of everything I'm getting down with and I like.
You talking about the 4 point?
No, the actual conversion now. You
Okay.
can kick from the 33 yard to get the 1 point instead of the 2 or the 3.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about. I don't like that. I wish that we were going for the 2, 3, 4, whatever, 1, 2, 3, whatever the points are going to be. I think that was a little more exciting from my point of view.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's roll on. Let's talk about the attendance. So tickets sold 5,799, and it was a rough one, at least on TV. The field there, Toyota Stadium, they are renovating. So keep in mind, if you do see that online, that's not what it looks like. I mean, there's a lot of seats that are closed off right now, is what I'm trying to say. So guys at home, if you see that, I posted a video on my Facebook and it went crazy from Anthony Miller when he was at the game. And just keep in mind that video was at walkout, so it was like basically pregame. And like I said, the stadium's being renovated there. I mean, Alan, let me ask you, from your opinion, you've been to a lot of games now. How many people do you think were honestly at this game? I mean, what if you could put it on your guesstimation?
If I could put it a guesstimation, I would say in the realm of maybe 1,200 people. 12 to 1,500 max. It's unfortunate because I haven't actually been to the stadium yet, but it looks awesome. It looks like an awesome stadium, and the Renegades are a very good team. That's why I'm saying that. I'm stressing that point, that if you're the Renegades, and if I think the Renegades to me are safer than the Gamblers, because the Gamblers are a newer team and the Renegades have history because they've been around since the XFL. But I do think this much. I think it's a season or two. If you don't support the team, don't cry. I would tell you, cry me a river if the team is gone. Like, this is why you have to, this is how you stop the team from leaving, is by you supporting. And I do agree with the UFL that they should only market and put teams in places where they're going to get support. That's what I think. You got to show up to these games and support. It's as Coach Neuheisel said, it's a beautiful venue. He said it himself. I asked him about the Toyota Stadium because looking at the TV, it looks in the ballpark of Intercoast Stadium as far as the look, niceness. They got cars back there. You kick the field goal. It looks nice, and you guys need to come out and watch the game. Good football.
Yeah, hopefully they'll try to pull people in with some more promos. I would hope that would be the smartest move.
And
So
they're doing great. No, I'm saying I got to give the market team some credit. 33% off, 40% off. They're giving you a giveaway at every game. Like, even I didn't even get the giveaway that they had the clear bag for the Storm. They're giving stuff away. Just show up.
Yeah, if you're supporting it, that's the best thing you can do, of course. I mean, or watch, one of the two. That's your power as a consumer, no doubt.
Right. I agree. If you can't make it out physically, watch it on TV.
So Rick 8-Bit, he put in the comments some of the attendance data from some events Tuesday.
Okay.
So we can check that out.
Reds at Marlins.
22% with Reds and Marlins capacity. 23% with the Padres and Pirates. Battlehawks at Renegades, 52%. Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure the other leagues, they're the same way. They're counting tickets sold, not people that are actually walking through the gates. That's how they make their
Right.
money. So they're going to be counting the actual tickets.
Tickets sold, and
Good deal, Rick. Appreciate
that's
that data.
awesome. And
Yeah.
that's great insight there, Rick, and appreciate that. And just show up. That's what I'm saying. Support the team. And the great thing about the UFL season, it's that it's not a long season, 10 weeks, 5 home games. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not a big ask. I mean, we'll see how things look in the next couple of weeks, because we'll give it some grace. We had Easter. Some of the night games may have not worked out with some of the people's schedule. So we'll see what happens in the next 3 home games for each area.
Yeah. I mean, especially now that the home opener performances are almost all complete. We got a couple more to go, but basically, I mean, we'll see what we're getting to the nitty-gritty on everything.
Oh, let's see. Mo was at the Columbus game.
I'll pull him up. Was
at
at the Columbus game last week. I had been to the stadium before for an MLS game. It was really cool to watch a football game there.
Yeah, that's cool. Great job, Mo. That's awesome. And Interco Stadium, that's a soccer stadium, and man, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful stadium. Even the players, they compliment, Fuldarius Payne, defensive line. He complimented the grass, and he said it's even better than turf. And he even said the groundskeeper needs a raise.
Dude, turf is rough depending on where you are. It'll hurt you, man. You fall on it, it's not fun.
So don't sleep on those soccer fields, man. They're nice. I will say that much too. I believe it was Mike Rapoli's idea, or maybe a collective idea. Whoever idea it was to make it a smaller venue in Soccer Stadium, they deserve a raise, because that to me was genius. And it's the perfect type of venue, I think, for the UFL.
Yeah, agreed. When you're there, you feel. I mean, I haven't been to a soccer stadium yet for a game, so I mean, how's the feel on the field just walking around?
Oh, it's electric. You could hear, even if you're walking in not on the field, if you're walking in the walkway like a baseball, you could hear it. You could hear the crowd. You could hear the roar. You're so much closer to everybody. It's so much better atmosphere-wise, engagement-wise. I think it's really cool. I think they hit a grand slam with the soccer stadiums. They really did. I was a little apprehensive at first too, like soccer stadium, football, is it going to be too close? But it works out great.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. Much better on TV as well. That's what Maverick said. Definitely improved the optics on TV. Then Mo said at the soccer stadium, you feel like you're on top of the field. That's what I've been told. Like you're in it. Yeah. So that's what I'm excited to try to make one this season.
Not a bad seat in the house. Not a bad seat in the house at all.
If I make it to Orlando, I'll have you show me around, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so let's roll into quickly reviewing the games for next week. We're not going to get into a deep nitty-gritty on each team, but I just wanted to talk about the games that are occurring and where they're at, what channels and such. So let's just roll into it. Friday night, April 10th, the Storm take on Louisville. That game's in Louisville. It's at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox. So that's an easy one to find. We got a rematch. Let's see what happens.
It's going to be a big game, too. It's going to be a tough game for both sides.
Are you rooting for Orlando this year because you're close to them?
I'm trying not to be biased, but I am close to them. But I'm also hoping the Renegades do well too. And I look at it like that. May the best team win. I'm not trying to pick sides here. I have to be impartial. May the best team win. The fact that I'm covering the two number one place teams is really awesome. That has never happened before.
Yeah, I'm happy for you, man. You got some exciting football to watch.
Yeah.
Especially being close. That's what sucks. Is like I wish I was a little closer. Everything for me is a good 5 hours or further.
And just so the listening audience knows that if I can make a game, you can too. It's roughly about a 2-hour drive for me to go to Orlando, depending on traffic. I've gotten, knock on wood, lucky the first 2 games being that it's been later games, I've been okay with traffic. Usually when they had the 4:00 games, it was 2 hours strong.
Shoo-wee.
But it's been about an hour and 35, 40 minutes, which is very, very good.
I told myself this year, if I'm going to go to a game, I would most likely want to try to go to the championship, no matter where the location is. And so I'm keeping that kind of on the back burner for myself.
Yeah, and I'll be at the championship game.
Oh, I know you will.
Yeah, whether the two teams make it, and I hope they do, but whoever makes it, I will be at the championship game. That you can put that on. I'll be there. I've been there to all of them. My team that I've covered never made it to the championship game, so that's proof right there.
That's where I met you, with the 23 championship.
Probably DC. That's right. They haven't.
No,
they
that was
haven't
in that was San Antonio, wasn't it? Was it San
Yes.
Antonio?
So they had the 2 years with the Battlehawks.
Yep.
St. Louis. They had the Alamo Dome. What am I missing? Oh, this will be 4. Yep, this will be number 4.
Yep.
So yeah, they haven't. That's right. They haven't announced a location. I don't think it'll be in St. Louis. That'll be 3 in a row. I doubt it'll be in St. Louis. I doubt it.
Yeah, there's been some crickets talking, but I don't want to go on rumors. We'll see what happens. Let's roll on to the second game of the week. That's the Saturday game. It's the early game. Yeah, the Houston Gamblers take on the Defenders. That game is in DC. It kicks up at 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern, and it's on ESPN.
It's gonna be a very good game right there too.
Yeah, we're gonna see how both these teams match up against each other. I mean, DC just came through and basically ran it down Columbus's throat last week. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I don't think they're going to do that in Gambler territory. That defense, they do have some good defensive players for sure.
Yeah, so it's an early game. So that beer snake people got to get there early.
They better get there and started early. Yeah, let's see. I'm curious to see how that plays out this year. I mean, I'd love to see a sold out DC. That I've wanted to visit there personally forever and just haven't because it's so far from me.
DC is beautiful. If DC is a really cool destination to visit, give yourself a few extra days if you go, because there's so much to see and do in DC. It is a really, really cool place. I've been there a few times, and DC is a great place to visit. It really is.
I'll have to do it. I'm so far south. That's what sucks. It's a whole venture to head up there.
Get to go.
All right, let's roll on to the third game, and this one's the Sunday game. All right, it's Columbus Aviators versus the Dallas Renegades. I almost said Arlington again. It kicks up at 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Now, this is the 2-game day, so this will be your early game. All right.
Okay, doubleheader day. Okay.
Yeah. After this, we'll roll into Birmingham Stallions at St. Louis Battlehawks. It kicks up at 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern on ABC. So you don't have to chase the channels too bad to find the games this week, in my opinion. It should be easy to find. You shouldn't have to sign up for an app or do anything crazy.
Yeah.
I watch it on the antenna when it's on these channels, the digital antenna. It's a lot easier for me.
You can pick it up on that?
Yeah. I mean, I pick up Fox, ABC, and then a few other main stations for free. So
there you go. Tell the viewers, how do you get it? You just get a digital antenna?
Yeah, you just buy one from any store. I mean, they got a lot of different kinds, a lot of models, and it really just depends on your area what you pick up, depending on how far you are away from that signal, wherever you are. With me, I'm on here on the coast, so like you have all the local stuff because of the Saints. So any local Saints game, you're watching it on that antenna as well.
Wow. So you learned something insight there. Get yourself an antenna.
Dude, with the way the NFL is now to watch a game, it is redonkulous to try to find. So you got to lock in what you can.
There you go. You're saving your money, folks.
Yes. You got to. So that wraps it up in terms of games for next week. Like I said, I didn't want to get too far in the nitty-gritty on everything. We don't want to have a 2-hour show. It's been an hour as it is, and we're still going to discuss one last topic. So I think that is pretty good. How you feeling, Alan? You feeling good?
I'm feeling good. I'm curious to know what the topic is.
Oh, you know this one. It's the OKC expansion.
Yeah,
so,
that's fantastic.
Go ahead, give it to us. Give it to us straight, Alan.
I think this is a wonderful idea. Oklahoma, I've been there before. I've visited. It's a cool state. People love football in Oklahoma. I think they hit the jackpot on this one. I do feel as if people will support the UFL. That's what I think they need to do. They need to go to places where they're wanted, probably even more than they want to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the fact that they're going to be in Oklahoma in 2028, 2 years from now, which means that the league is going to be around. I think that's fantastic news. Props to Mike Rapoli because, he's as Danny Garcia said, he's willing to put capital along with suggestions. If you caught that in our interview that Danny said that, so he said he's not stopping. He's a hustler, and we're cut from the same cloth because he's from Long Island. His wife's from Queens. I'm from Brooklyn. So
gotcha. Yeah,
he's a go-getter.
Quite a bit about each other, I'm guessing, then on that. Yeah.
I definitely love that move. That made my day hearing that because I was like, wow, because they're going to be in that new beautiful stadium. It's going to be a soccer stadium, and it's going to be a new stadium too. So people are going to come out. I could see very similar to what they had with the Battlehawks when they first started. I think it was a genius move. Plus, another big thing too, they don't have to compete with the NFL in this. That's a big thing. You're in a spot where you're not competing against the NFL.
Yep.
I think that's what they need to do. Keep doing stuff like this. Getting soccer stadiums, at a reduced rate. Go in places where you feel as if they're going to want you. Don't go to a place and then say, let's test the market. That's what a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of businesses make mistakes at. Go where you know you're going to do well. Kind of like what Chick-fil-A does. Someone said something really great that Chick-fil-A doesn't guess on a location. They do all the market research. They test it. They know that when they build that Chick-fil-A, it's going to be successful where they build it at. The UFL needs to just stick on that. Build where you're wanted. Go where you're wanted. And if you're not wanted, season or two, peace. That's it. I mean, I hate to see people lose their team, but I think the UFL has to be like that. Yeah.
I agree with you at this point. I mean, there's a lot of hungry cities out there for entertainment in any form or fashion. So I agree with you. I think the key points to this stadium too, if you read the article the UFL put out, the stadium's designed for initial capacity of 10,000, but they have the ability to increase if needed. And I think that is a perfect selling point for the UFL. It's innovative, it's new, and if they can get another team to kind of attach onto this in a different place that has this much excitement, I mean, we're going to be looking at some big things for expansion, in my opinion. This is just a start, is what I'm saying.
No, I agree. I agree. I think it's just a start, but this is great news that the collaborative effort of all the owners and it's starting to pay dividends because 2028, it started in 23, is that right? Or 22, right?
Yeah.
22.
Yeah.
So to make it to that far, it to me is already a success, a huge success.
Our season started in 2023, so that's when we kicked up. Now, if we're talking about the USFL, it's a whole different story, but I didn't do much USFL anything, so I can't talk about that without like researching thoroughly, honestly.
Thank you guys for the comments. Yeah, and go where you want it. Exactly. No sense courting somebody who doesn't want to date you and spending all your wheels, spending all your money. Go where you want it. And then I think they'll be fine because there is a market for spring football. I do believe that because You give these players a chance. You give the coaches a chance. You give the city a chance to make money. It's a win-win-win. I think it's nothing but upside, but you have to go where you want it.
Yes, sir. I agree with that. And that's it, guys. I know we mentioned it was a soccer stadium as well. So
Yeah,
it's a I don't know what regulated league it is, but it's a regulated stadium for the soccer team, whichever team they're going to have. It seems super exciting. And I mean, just looking at the pictures, the articles, the stuff that's been said about it before the UFL came along, it lets you know how real this is. This isn't just a, hey, we're expanding. No, this is legitimate.
No, this is legit. This is they're going to OKC. They signed the lease already. You know, I love how they did this press release too. They secured it. It wasn't just sometimes with the UFL, you know, just being transparent. I wouldn't say Mike been there, but sometimes you felt throughout the time it was sometimes some clout chasing. Just being transparent. This was not clout chasing at all. This is real. They're going to be there in 2028, OKC in that soccer stadium. This was, to me, it made my day. And I felt like I didn't have to rush to put it out because I knew that it was going to do well when people heard about it right away.
For sure. Yeah, no doubt. It looks beautiful too. When you look at the pictures, the videos, anything about it, it looks wonderful. And I'll be excited to see what happens. And my thing about this too is, you know, so this will be the 9th team for that 2028 expansion. There's still one more team that we're going to have to add, or they're going to have to add to the league. It's like, I hope we can get this same excitement for that team as well. It will be awesome.
Oh yeah. You know, I was excited when they said OKC, and I just think the venue where it's going to be at, and I love the idea. Don't go where the NFL is at. You know, like don't be smart about it. You know, don't go where the NFL is at. Not, and then I cover some of the NFL, full transparency too. But still, you just why have competition if you don't need to, and go where they don't have a team. And I loved it. I love this move.
Mo said, will they ever adopt the Savannah Bananas model with cheap tickets, food, and drinks to get butts and seats? Go ahead. I'll let you take it.
I think they already are. Like, for example, the Orlando game, which I didn't promote, me being a Christian or what have you, I didn't promote the fact that if you bought a ticket, you get a beer. Like I said, you get a special offer if you get the ticket, but the special offer was the beer. And I'm not going to sit there and promote beer or what have you, adult beverages or what. But yes, they have tickets that are 40% off. You get the first alcoholic beverage was on them, and you had a giveaway. Like, come on now. You can't, they basically give you the tickets for free almost. You get the ticket, you had the first adult beverage included, and you had the clear bag giveaway, which I didn't get one, by the way, but that's okay. I'm not complaining about it, but the fans got them.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. I mean, there's nothing to be ashamed of in my regard on that. You know, we didn't even touch any of the TV numbers because it's very dicey right now. I feel like with data, without a reliable reporting source, I am hesitant to discuss those numbers. And so I'm curious to see what that entails for everything also. I know we're talking a lot about the in-person stuff, but
yeah, go out to the game. You know, like, you know, the CEO said, Russ Brandon, I interviewed him before game 2. He said, come out, have a fun time, adult beverage on you. The tickets are 40% off. And on top of that, you get they have tailgating and you have a giveaway, which they usually have most giveaways for the first 5,000 fans on most of the games. They give away shirts on the field too. You know, they have the cannon. They give you a lot of opportunities to get some. And this was a cool thing they did give away, which I'm glad that you guys asked. Jack Plummer, I was standing right next to him, and I got to put that video up. He basically got the game ball, the UFL ball, which is a $300 item, mind you. He autographed it and gave it to a kid.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Like, it autographed football, UFL, authentic game used football, and he got it. He autographed it, and he gave it to a kid. So you you go out, have a good time, you never know what you can get. You're still gonna get the better end of this deal. This is kind of like you're going to Mike's and they're having a buy one get one free. Like, come on, man. What else do you want them to do?
I understand. I think what I picture more of the Savannah Bananas is more of the. I mean, the game is definitely a part of the Savannah Bananas, but it's the whole theatrics. It's the dancing, it's the clothes, it's the noise, it's the whoever the leader, the main guy is that's always in the suit. I mean, I think that we don't want the joking culture, but we have to have some culture there. So I kind of feel like what he's saying, the fan engagement, exactly. I understand what he's saying there on that. And like, have you ever tried to go to a Savannah Banana game, Alan? Have you ever looked into it?
I have not. And I feel bad saying that because I've actually interviewed a couple of players, the female baseball players who actually are pretty good players, really. And Savannah Bananas are doing big things. The waiting list is just ridiculous. And it just goes to show you, he started from something small and just kept growing it. And it wasn't about the money. And he keeps saying that. He said he's been trying for 3 years to get in. It's not easy to get in, but it's awesome, and sometimes when you're not trying to get money and just giving people great service, things work out for you.
Yeah. People want that. I know personally, I haven't tried, but I know friends that are in waiting spots and they've been there for a couple of years also for these tickets. Yeah, and it's not like spectacular baseball. It's just the whole get up of the activity.
But props to Savannah Bananas because they sell out, man.
Yeah.
70,000 seats. Whew. That's impressive.
Folks at home, if you're interested in that, look up the guy who took them over and took them to the top. I don't know his name. I can't remember, but his story's very interesting. He's a real person. He's authentic. He's not a corporate bigwigs. And that's what made that spectacular. He took off and ran with it. But Maverick questioned in, he said, what about the TV numbers? Maverick, I don't know if you caught that. I said I didn't really want to discuss it. Couldn't find a reliable news source that I feel like could be discussed, and because we can talk about some numbers here and some numbers there for the same stuff, and it's really averages and it's not. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm sticking to on that. I miss old Mike Mitchell and his TV ratings post because he was very reliable in his work.
Mike's not doing it anymore, or he just hasn't done it yet.
Yeah, he made a post a couple weeks ago about him. He's not going to be active this season, so got a lot of stuff going, and it's understandable, and he will be missed.
Glad you told me. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I know personally, getting started, like he was one of my biggest role models. I felt like talking to him, and so I understand having to take off for your health. Like, do it. Don't hesitate. Health comes first.
Your health is your wealth.
You need to worry about your life, your body, your mind before you worry about news and podcasting. That's just my 2 cents.
No, I agree. I mean, your health is your wealth, and that comes first. We can always get the numbers later. It's okay. The numbers have to be doing well because they're expanding, and I love what they're doing.
Yeah, Callywood said week 1 TV ratings are up from 2025, still not as high as 2024. We don't have all the week 2 ratings in yet. Okay. Yeah, I was looking at some stuff on X, and there was different things posted by different individuals. And like I said, I just didn't know, which number was correct, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. I know I've seen some pretty bad numbers for that Stallions game, if I remember right. But like I said, we're not going to do that. We're not, unless we know that what that means in the context of where it's coming from. I don't think that me as a content creator should talk about it. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, unless we know. That's right. Do we want the season to start after the Super Bowl? I think it would be cool, but you know what? I'm kind of getting used to that break in between. It's like one of those things I think it's kind of good that they started a little bit sooner, but at the same token, I don't think that's a change they can make easily now because you have, the basketball tournament going on. You know what I mean? It's one of those things that you might impede on those things a bit more. So I don't think it's an easy change. At first, I was one of the people like, yeah, they should have it sooner, but now I think looking at it is probably a good thing because remember one of the weekends we had Easter.
Yeah, I mean it's a. I'm all for the earlier start time, but then again, like you said, it's we're in a schedule now. They've been doing this. This isn't just picking up the league and starting over again. I mean, we've been doing this, so I don't know. I do attest that I think that coming right after the Super Bowl or week after would help with that momentum. So I do agree with that. I feel like also though, and this may be a little much, but some of these outside games, I mean, it's like it's kind of rough weather in February. You got kind of a good season come March, April, like down here in the South. But I mean, come like May, June, July, it is miserable outside. So that definitely affects things down here in the South.
I agree. And I think if you move it up, I think weather is going to play a factor too.
Yep. People forget the spring football, like the weather can be terrible. And like I've been in attendance to many games that it was awful. It's just that time of year, you know?
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. We'll do a couple more comments and then we're going to hop off the air, guys. It's been fun. Like I said, we'll meet back up next week, same time, same place. Rick 8-Bit said, I'm curious, is there a lockout for MLB if UFL jumps on it? Will be great for the media partners.
Yeah, I think if the UFL could take opportunities wherever I think they could find it. And I do think they will get some opportunities from time to time. As the league grows, as it gets more viewership, more fans, I do think the UFL is going to have more power. And I think it's a matter of time before the NFL takes that four-point play too. That kickoff 6 yards. I think it's just a matter of time.
They always steal something. I mean, it's been years since like the 2020 XFL. There's been some piece taken for the NFL. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't know that are NFL fans, but I mean, you know that, we know that. So I'll be curious to see how some rule changes affect this coming year for sure. Let's see, you got Jackie. What's up, Jackie? How are you?
All right.
Mo chiming back in, he said, how would starting earlier possibly help someone get signed? I mean, from what I understand right now, the schedule the way it is, a person can sign from a team right now and almost literally jump right into NFL training camp and be playing. If we started earlier, that they'll get out of the season earlier and they will have some off time before they go into that NFL period, whatever you want to call it. But it's like, is the off time better or worse? What we've seen so far is the guys that have just went right over to the NFL, we're doing really well. And those are the guys that have been successful in the NFL.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Alan?
I definitely think that I've kind of gotten used to the schedule now. Like, I could understand them moving up, and they did have it the first year. Remember, the XFL was 2 weeks after.
Yep.
And I didn't feel like the attendance was any better.
Yeah, in person, it was not. And because I went to a lot of games, and there was no difference. I mean,
yeah, I felt like there was a struggle to get fans. Of course, it was the first season, but they did have it 2 weeks right after, and then I really didn't feel as if it really built the attendance up more. And I felt like, if anything, because they play in Arlington to prepare, we had weather issues up there a lot. Like, a lot of time we had to cancel the Zooms because of weather. That happened more frequently because it was moved up.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, that in the South, typically Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, wherever you want to talk about, that time of the year is rough because it's cold, but then you got the hot air mixing as well, and that's how we get all our nice storms going. So that's kind of what occurs down here. You have some pretty bad storms come out of nowhere.
Yeah, so you're not out of the woods come February
No.
especially mid to late February. As far as the weather, I think you're safer the fact that they started off later as far as the weather is concerned.
Yeah.
Because we did have that issue. Weather was an issue from time to time.
All right. Do a couple more comments and then we're out of here. Rick 8-Bit, starting early would be good for sharing stadiums with soccer teams. Agreed on that. That schedule would help them. The soccer schedule is more of like a summertime thing, right? Like late spring, summer, if I remember right. So, yeah, I agree. But it seems like it's like with this partnership in OKC, they're definitely going to be working around each other's scheduling. I don't see them conflicting with them having this partnership into this multi-purpose stadium.
Yeah, and that's good for OKC. So you have it being used, you know?
Exactly. Jackie's back. She said, I'm excited for expansion. Way to announce to build a new team and have them start watching it. Just waiting for that championship announcement. Give me DC already. Yeah, we talked about that earlier,
Yeah,
Jackie.
I need to start looking at places in DC, I guess. Everybody's saying it's in DC. So
We shall
gets
see.
the winner.
Yep.
DC is a great place to visit. If you've never been to DC, it's an awesome place to visit. You go to museums. Not all of the museums, by the way, are free. Not all of them, but 70% of them are free. Not all. Just want to let you know. But it is an outstanding place to visit. I love DC, visiting DC.
So do you think that like they haven't announced the championship because they're still arranging it, or is this a matter of garnering more attention to the matter? I mean, what, from your opinion?
I just think they usually announce it a little bit later. They don't usually announce it this early in the season. Around week 4-ish, midway, they usually announce it. I just think they're still probably nailing down things with the venue. It is not easy to host a championship game, no matter where it's at. You got to make sure the big wigs can make it. The sponsors are on board. You got to make sure the team is there. It's a lot that goes into it. I think they're still buttoning up some details for the championship game. That's probably why they haven't announced it. I'm sure they have maybe one or two venues already secured, but they probably haven't made the final decision yet. One thing about a stadium too, you always got to prepare about the weather too. If you have an outdoor stadium, you have that risk. That's, it rained not hard, but it did rain during the championship game in the Battlehawks, the last one we had. But it's, of course, a dome, but it did rain some. So you have to think about that too.
Yeah, agreed with that. Jackie said, don't go with Brahma, babe. She'll make you walk miles and have you going up the exorcist stairs. She said she did slap a Horn Forward podcast sticker halfway up the stairs. If anybody goes, check it out.
What, in DC?
Yeah. So I guess Jackie and Brahma Bay ventured the DC game. That's awesome.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
They were both rabid San Antonio Brahmas supporters, and
I know
they had to give up their fanship. So much respect to those two and the other super fans that have hung on. We appreciate you.
We do. I mean, I know it broke Brahma Babe heart. A lot of Brahma fans. I know it did. And trust me, I know that because I've had the feeling. But you never know. The direction that the league was going in with the small stadiums, soccer stadiums, I think it was more logistic than anything. I don't think it was anything that, from what I got from Mike Rapoli, that he wanted to do, but ultimately where he needed to take the business, I think that's why he had to do what he had to do, And we don't know how much the site fees are for Alamo Dome, they don't tell you that, but it might have been very expensive too.
Yeah, it was super nice. I know out of all the stadiums I went to, it was one of the nicest, and they acted like it too. I mean, they took care of it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I loved the when I went there for the championship game. That was fantastic.
Yeah, that's when I was there as well. I didn't expect that much when I got there, but I was a little blown away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Jackie said they do the tour, and now they just support the league as orphans. So
the league is expanding. It's at least they should feel good about that. That you feel like the league is hanging in there. There's always going to be room for improvement, but I love what I'm hearing that the league is hanging in there. That you have some flexibility. That because when this thing started, you didn't know if there was going to be a 1 and done, 2 and done, 3 and done. You didn't know, but don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. They might come back. Hey, in San Antonio, there's no NFL team there. So
much love to you guys. Keep doing your thing for sure.
yeah.
I was a Roughnecks fan before they were taken over. But when I first started all this, I was a Roughnecks fan. And now I'm like you, where the bias has been pulled away. I'm more of an observer. I enjoy it, but it's not a rabid fandom. I could definitely tell, even like from my point of view, when the Roughnecks were taken and the Gamblers were put in place, I felt bad, and I was like, "Dude, you don't even care that much. You're media. Why are you sitting here caring?" And it's just all the apparel and all the games and all the memories. I mean, it's tough. So
Yeah, and you're right. Because of that experience, I know we have the Orlando Storm, but I'm not super into the fandom just yet. It's just that you've been hurt before. You know how it goes.
Broke my heart, man. I don't
you know how it
can't
goes.
get my heart again. It's not on my sleeve. I put it back inside now.
Now, we'll say to the listening audience that the one credence that we do have is that Danny still does have a home in Orlando, which she does have one in Virginia too. But Mike Rapoli has one in Orlando. So I can understand them wanting to have a team in Orlando because it's in their backyard where they live. So that's the one advantage Orlando does have, is that the ownership, I should say, has ties to Orlando.
Yep. I agree with you, Alan. And guys, I guess we're going to wrap it up. I mean, it's been a good time. Check out Alan on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. I'll put links in the show notes whenever I post everything later. He's always doing some good interviews with people. I mean, he's at the games, he's representing. So check him out, guys, if you haven't. Seriously. You won't see me being on the ground much this year, but this man, you're everywhere, Alan.
Yeah, I try to make as much as I can. And I apologize to the Renegades. I know the coach wanted me to be out there to the game. It's just I've been not as with the Orlando Storm. It's not as easy to get out there because but I do plan on going to the one game where they're both going to play. But yes, if I'm not there physically, I'll be at the Zooms at the very least. But I enjoy going out to the games and meeting the players, meeting the staff. That's fun for me. That's exciting for me.
Yeah, it's a good time. And I enjoyed that more than anything personally as well. Yeah. It's more fun than any of this. It's real life, and getting to go into locker rooms and be on the field, and it's memorable for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, check Alan out. He's got a bunch of good content. You can check us out at AFN anytime. The AFN founder, we got a lot of different things going, people in the AFN, and I try to share as much content as I possibly can as well.
Appreciate you doing that.
It's a good time, and I'm glad to be back and to see everybody and be able to interact, and it's good, man. So if you guys are watching today, we appreciate it greatly. Thank you. Comment, share, like. If you see something you didn't like, something we said wrong, or something you liked, I mean, let us know. We appreciate it. I will have this all set up correctly next week. Like right now, we don't have the background image and stuff. I set all this up before I got on, and then suddenly it all disappeared when we went live. But this will look a little different next week. Just kind of getting my bearings as well. But man, it's been good. Thank you guys again for watching. Alan, is there anything you want to say before we get off the air?
Last thing is that, hey, guys, there was one guy on Twitter who went in hard on Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia has been with the league since day one, the XFL. She puts up her money. It's her money. It's her league, her investment. I mean, of course, she has other people to answer to. Danny does not just do this for social media clout or stuff like that. She has a lot of other projects too. And also, another way you can support is to watch Jumanji 3. She gave me some breaking news. It's releasing on Christmas Day. Those things do well financially, which I know she's going to plug that back into the league. Go ahead and watch Jumanji 3 on Christmas Day.
Hey, we'll take it. It's got The Rock, right? That's why we're
Got The Rock
watching,
in
right?
there. Yep, the whole cast. He said is back.
Yep. Yeah, guys. The situation on Twitter or X was someone attacked Danny, and Alan knows Danny personally, and so he set him straight. But it was very appropriate. It was very respectful. There wasn't attacking and name calling and cussing. I mean, so I value your input there, because sometimes X can be a nasty place, man, with interactions.
I know. That to me, I say this with all due respect, X to me is a person who loves drama playground. If you love drama, X is their playground. And that's one of the things I know I work in the media. I'm not a big fan of drama, if you get to know me. But I had to set this, the gentleman straight, professionally and politely, without cursing or anything like that. But don't crap my girl Danny, man. She's done a lot for this league. She put in the sweat and tears. So there's a lot she does. She's not just for clout.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's her money, and I'm sure that she's losing. She's not making. Yeah. She's losing every year, losing. So
yes, exactly.
That's my thing is they don't have to do this. They don't have to try to get this league off the ground. There may be some failed attempts along the way, but I mean, the fact that they're rolling with it and not pulling out is what we have to have for success long term.
Exactly. They're not pulling a plug. They're hanging in there. And like you said, Danny has a lot of she's an extremely successful businesswoman. Just so the listening audience knows, Danny Garcia was on my radar before she even started the XFL. I knew who she was. I had an interest in interview her because she was a mover and shaker in the business world. So it's just amazing that I get a chance to see her more frequently now because she's part of the UFL ownership team. And yeah, it's a process. And the fact that, like you said, those Jumanji movies, they make a lot of money. They're very successful. She doesn't have to do this. She chooses to do it. Give her some slack. Cut her some slack. And it's her money too. She's losing.
Yeah. At the end of the day, they're just losing money. They could pull a Tom Dundon and just unplug the whole thing mid-season, AAF style, and we don't want that. That's the worst type of way to lose your team and league.
Yeah. And they're gonna get back their investment, but it's gonna be a process and it takes time. Hang in there. Find ways to help the league. Don't find ways to tear people down in the league.
Agreed.
It'll be fine. Yes.
Agreed. Yeah, that's Mike Rapoli's in it now, and he's definitely in it, but that doesn't mean that others disappeared. Now, we talk about The Rock. We haven't seen much of The Rock, but we're not talking about The Rock right now. We're talking about Danny Garcia. So,
yes, The Rock, we'll talk about him another show. Another show for The Rock.
Yep. But in the meantime, guys, we'll be back next week. I don't have an outro set on here because this thing is way different from what I know, but next week should be set completely. Appreciate you listening in, commenting. If you were one of the few that were in the show, thank you a lot. This is my first live show back in a year. So it's good to see everybody. It's good to be back, and yeah, let's do this thing.
Got it, man. A pleasure to see you guys. Thank you all for watching and listening. Really appreciate you.
Yep. Agreed. Until next week, guys. Take care.
Take care.